Welcome back to the channel, and today another video of talking about FC26 releasement information here for your faces today as we get closer and closer to the release of FC26. If planned, if you're watching this video as I plan to make it go out tomorrow, is early access for Ultimate Edition players as well as the EA Play Pro players as well. And then if you have EA Play, pretty sure you can go ahead and get a 10-hour trial technically as well on the 19th. There's a chance it actually comes out on 18th. If you go on the EA app, it actually has it as the 18th. I don't know by the time this video goes out that's been updated, but for me at the moment I could play on the 18th, it says, and I'm in Texas, so that is interesting to see here. But today we're going to go over some of the newer things in EA FC26 Career Mode that obviously you should know by now if you're going to go ahead and play this game for career mode stakes. If you don't know, then you've been living on a rock, but this is kind of just a refreshment of their career mode deep dive and a little bit more in depth of that deep dive that they did towards the end of August. So let's go and jump straight into it. Starting off here, there is a manager live hub here. There's going to be challenges for you to go ahead and do in the career mode, kind of like these storylines that we've been forced to make up ourselves over the recent couple years thanks to the lack of just creativity in FC26 career mode or in FC career mode itself. We kind of create these outside scenarios like a player getting sick, a player getting suspended for bad behavior, whatnot, all those types of things. Those are now kind of be put into FC26 so we can play along with it in the actual game here. There's going to be challenges featuring your selected teams. They're going to be full career mode challenges or full career challenges with your selected teams, and then there's also going to be live starts points for your selected teams as the season progresses. There's going to be challenges like Road to Glory, European Ellipse, getting a point deduction, Jamal's double, trying to win a double, top at Christmas, can you hold out and win the Premier League or win the league when you are top at Christmas? That's a hard thing to do. Arsenal should know. We've choked it many times now. Their tabs will obviously, the permanent tabs will stay there the same. There will be some dynamic tabs like scenarios involving Premier League teams such as full careers, live start points, or challenges. Maybe even challenges starting in the UEFA Champions League where European club scenarios tied to UEFA Champions League actions. There's going to be seasonal events such as transfer windows, expire scenarios. Maybe you're forced to sign a player, forced to sell a player, stuff like that. That's going to be in the game as well for you to go ahead and do within your career mode save. A massive thing added into FC26 Career Mode is the manager market. Managers can now get sacked based off performance and other criteria as well in FC26. So no longer will you see a manager like, let's just say, on Postecoglou. Let's say he gets fired from Nottingham Forest in a couple of months' time. They obviously can happen in the game now as well. It won't reflect real life scenarios. Obviously that will happen within itself, but within the actual save file, managers can get sacked if a manager underperforms relative to their board objectives. So board objectives are becoming kind of crucial again and actually useful for once. Possibly their job security drops. If it falls too low, the board will then go ahead and sack them. They can also get poached by another club. Managers may be approached and hired by other clubs, especially if their reputation and tactical vision aligned with hiring club needs. So let's just say Arsenal. Let's say Mikel Arteta gets sacked. He has the dominant, you can see right here, the dominant tactic of possession. Let's just say he gets sacked or not gets sacked actually. Let's just say he doesn't get sacked. Let's just say they want to bring in Enzo Mosquera from Chelsea, who also has the same dominant tactic there in possession. Let's just say that Arsenal want him. They can go ahead and poach them from Chelsea. I'm assuming they have to pay some type of fee. I would hope they have to pay some type of like compensation fee, but that can obviously happen in the game now as well. And voluntary departure, managers who have been at the club for a long period of time may choose to leave, aka like Arsene Wenger, who was at Arsenal for over 20 years. He leaves the club. That can happen in the game as well. The longer a manager stays at the club, the higher the chance they'll consider looking for a new challenge. So obviously they'll kind of just give up and accept that they've done what they can at that current club after a good amount of the save. I wonder how long this kind of lasts, because obviously you can only do 15 seasons within the career mode save file anyway. So I wonder how long that is, like 3-5 seasons, something like that, before they start maybe considering looking for a new team. When clubs part way with a manager, a caretaker manager is sometimes appointed temporarily. So just like FM, you get a caretaker manager. Just like life, you get a caretaker manager, interim manager. We had Frank Lindbergh once we sacked Unai Emery and the likes of that. So yeah, a caretaker manager. If the caretaker isn't deemed fit to take the full-time job, they will go ahead and trigger the game in the coding to go ahead and look for suitable candidates. Their following criteria is used to determine the compatibility of other managers for the job, and then they will also create a shortlist as well. So there's a lot going on in the back end, which is a lot that could go wrong. There's a lot that will go wrong. The quality of the club against the quality of the club the target is currently managing for. So Arsenal looking for a manager, they're not going to go look down in League 2. They're not going. That's just too big of a gap. League 1, too big of a gap. Championship, too big of a gap for mid to bottom. The decent amount of gap between top tables of the championship, depending on how they are doing, if you like that type of stuff. Managers can switch between managing club for men's and women's football. So Mikel Arteta again could go from managing the Arsenal men to the Arsenal women. It seems like here the manager's current job security level will be a significant factor, with safe managers unlikely to switch clubs. Okay, so that also makes sense as well. That kind of keeps it realistic as well. So it's kind of be like unsafe managers that are also on the brink of getting terminated. The length of the tenure a manager has at the current club will influence the compatibility rating to make sure the job market movement doesn't go stale, and that recently appointed managers will have the opportunity to prove themselves in their new roles. That's interesting to know. If the manager has the same nationality as a target club, the chances of making the shortlist will be increased. That is concerning-ish for Premier League clubs, because English manager has never won the Premier League. I get why they'll do that, but this is a little bit concerning if you really want to think about it realistically, in a sense, because again, English manager has never won the Premier League. Clubs will assess the compatibility of a manager's tactical vision with their club vision. Each club will assess tactical visions, bada bing, bada boom. So tactical vision is going to be a big part as well. You can also go ahead and look for a job and apply for jobs in an easier way as well. When the manager position becomes available, you will have the opportunity to apply to the job should your performance and tactical vision align with the needs of the club. I don't like this part of it, the should your performance align with the needs of the club. I'm not sure about that. Tactical vision, I get. Performance, I don't get, to be completely honest. That's a little bit scary and a little bit limiting in my honest opinion. If you have high compatibility with the club, you'll be notified about the high likelihood of taking the club should you declare interest. So you'll have it pop up in your notification feed as well as you're just simming through the save. So here's what determines your job capability. Here's for yourselves. Your performance against the club objectives exceeding expectations at your current club will give you a significant boost. So overperforming at your current club will obviously help out. So doing the board objectives at your current club will help out. The quality of the club you're playing at compared to the club you're targeting. This is actually going to be really interesting for like managers to glory. Managers to glory might properly be back now. So that is actually interesting to see for myself, as well as obviously a career mode content creator here. Should you manage to win a trophy with a lower rated team, opportunities at bigger clubs will begin to surface. So road to glories, again, manager to glories, winning a trophy in, let's just say, MLS could get you somewhere else in a championship level club, in all honesty. The capability between the club's tactical vision and your most used tactical vision. So obviously the club has a tactical vision, and then you're just going to have your most used tactical vision, which a lot of times is custom for a lot of people. So I wonder how that will work out. The assessment will be similar to the one done to the AI control managers here. This is also cool to see. 124,000 a week. You kind of get like, I mean, if you really think about it, you get 10,000 a week in real life, or in the actual in FC25 in previous. You can shortlist jobs to monitor the status and receive notifications when these positions become available. The suggestion tabs highlight jobs that are a good fit for your current profile, making it easier to identify realistic opportunities. So just like you can shortlist players, you can shortlist clubs as well that you possibly want to take over. When you get sacked, if you get sacked, your agent will present a list of clubs interested in your services reflecting your reputation and recent achievements. If you're open to the idea of getting sacked, a lot of times you're not, because realistically, if you get sacked, you're just going to start a new career mode, or the options you get when you get sacked, it's a shitty club. It's like one, maybe two clubs, and it's in a different division, and they're awful. And most of the time, towards the end of the season, they've already been relegated, and there is no saving them. This is actually going to entice more people to actually keep sacking on. It's going to entice me to keep more sacking on, because I'm open to losing my job in some aspects there, except for like the first save, obviously. More data and enhanced realism is also coming into the game. With deeper simulation, Career Mode now brings in historical player data at any time players in the league your team is playing in. All selected simulated leagues will have the previous season stats available. This was kind of a big hope for Career Mode fans, but this has also been now shot down by EA, typically by saying this will have the previous season's stats available. Previous seasons, if it says season, it'll be a little bit more concerning. I'm scared that it's only going to have last season at a time, which is kind of concerning in all honesty. We'll see what happens if we can look throughout the entirety save here. But the data includes top scores, assists, clean sheets, yellow cards, red cards, and average ratings. The data is not just cosmetic, it directly impacts how you evaluate players, track development, and plan transfers. For example, you can now identify a breakout performer. Let's just say, who's here more likely to have a breakout? Martinelli, because he's been kind of terrible in real life. Let's just say he ended up scoring 30 goals compared to a Marmouche who scores 20, or Holland who can score 20 or 13 as well. You're going to look at Martinelli and think he's a good player. There's been revamped standing and team stats, so the table looks different once again. It's now more concrete who gets into European competitions. You have the Premier League champion just solo the first spot as itself, and then you have the rest of the Champions League 2nd through 4th there in its own little tab. You have the Europa League in the 5th for the Premier League, and then the UEFA Conference League in 6th for the Premier League as well. And then I would assume 7th and everybody else, or 7th down to relegation, should be in just one little huddle possibly. It should just be in one little group, and then relegation is going to be its own separate tab as well. This is just, so the Champions League here, this is just re-graphic. This is not really anything massively. It just shows who you're controlling more obviously, I guess, because it's only club in a different color text, and it has a date and times. That doesn't really mean too much in all honesty. It's just a little bit more cleaner. The scouting report looks different here. When you click on a player, it will kind of show you some key attributes. It's just not just muddled up into the. You can see the club, obviously, but you can always know the club. Market value, if you need a scout, shortlist, view team stats, you can see that. And then obviously ask whoever this guy is to scout or Marmouche, whoever I guess you have scouts, you can ask them to go ahead and do that as well. Also, another thing massively here is the authentic gameplay. We obviously have authentic gameplay for more offline saves, aka career mode, and then obviously competitive for more foot manager. So it's kind of separating the foot in career mode and offline experience. Finally, because we've been playing on gameplay that has been built for Ultimate Team, and it's been horrific. It's been detrimental to career mode players and offline players. It's just been one of the worst things ever existed in the life of FC20s and just FC cycles. There's a couple more slider settings as well. You can see here just quickly on your screen, header shot error. So headers now have a slide indicator as well, and it's not just going to be muched up into shot error. It's now its own separate category, which is interesting to see. And another thing here, going on with those kind of like objective things, here's another one. Unexpected events are a new layer of dynamic narrative scenarios that can occur throughout your career mode experience. This is gonna cause a lot of stir within the career mode community, I think. These events are designed to reflect the unpredictability of real life football, where as a manager things always don't go to plan. So for example, this one, international injury crisis, getting injured in international, aka Arsenal players. Whenever we have an international break, somebody's always getting injured. Here are the type of unexpected events, emerging scenarios. There's always more to football. These are the types of, go ahead and One type of event here is new ownership. Your club has been bought and is now under new ownership. The new owners have lofty ambitions and are excited to start working with you, your staff, and your team. Every owner has an idea of the right way to Big Six in times of training at Tottenham. So maybe a money influx at a new club or a club that you're managing who gets a new manager. That's also interesting. Getting a player who feels homesick, like this guy, or Ajik, getting homesick. Boss, I'm feeling homesick and struggling to adjust to life in Man City. This has been the first time I've been away from home for so long. Is there anything you think you can be done to help me cope? I'm assuming that it's going to be a way to possibly make him feel better about himself and obviously do that. There's 20 plus leagues in live starting points. So last time it was the Big Five. This seems like it's 20 leagues that are going to have the 20 live start or the live starting points, which is interesting. Transfer logic improvements. Obviously, transfers are all over the place with AI clubs. We've noticed several mentions throughout the community that the AI could start boarding players or hoarding players in specific positions on some occasions, and they obviously investigated that. We identified that the reason for this change is that despite making transfers in the area of the pitch, some transfers may not push the needle through to improve the area to a level that would make the AI focus its attention somewhere else and for improvement. So just constantly signing like lower level players in that same position obviously isn't going to boost up the club, and it's not going to trigger their coding to then force the AI to focus on a different position in that team. So they just keep on going and going and going until eventually they get to that what they want and what they trigger that there. We've now added new logic that will stop the AI from shortlisting improvements in an area should there be an excessive surplus to requirements. The AI will start looking to improve the area only after selling some of its players, as removing the lower quality players from the area can also contribute to improving it overall. So obviously getting rid of some of the deadwood actually helps out in some scenarios. And something that is going to also allow it to be happen as well is with this update, both you and AI clubs can now arrange loan deals for players who have just been purchased in their current transfer window. So let's just say you go to a new season, July 5th, Arsenal sign Arthur Güler on a permanent deal, and then let's say you want to loan him out. Let's just say you're not at Arsenal, but they signed Arthur Güler. You're at, let's just say, a Brighton, looking at him for possibly for loan deal. You can now go ahead and loan in Arthur Güler as well. It should be easier to loan in Arthur Güler as a playing player bought in the same window. There is a lot more being added to FC26. There's going to be a lot for you to deep dive into. There's even more playing on the player career mode side as well. Not as much as maybe player career mode fans might have hoped for, but there's a lot being added to this save. If you did enjoy this video, as I don't go into deep dive, leave a like, subscribe, and peace out.